Good morning, colleagues. So this morning session, panel discussion, concentrate on the authentic and contact, specific approaches. So Gita is the first one to present.
All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Anusha, and together with my team from DUT, we will be presenting on connecting the authentic with digital aspirations at the Durban University of Technology. I'm going to begin the presentation with a brief overview, giving you some insight into the DUT context. Gita will then enlighten you on the role of academic professional development in connecting the authentic with digital aspirations at DUT. This will be followed by Lucas and Colette, who will share their experiences as participants in a wrapped MOOC. The Durban University of Technology was formed in 2002 as the result of the merger of Technikon Natal and ML Sultan Technikon. With approximately 29,500 students, DUT has multiple campuses in Durban and Pietermaritzburg. The university aspires to be a preferred university for developing leadership in technology and productive citizenship, and to making knowledge useful. So when did e-learning start for us at DUT? In the year 2000, prior to the merger, an e-learning academic development program called Pioneers Online was introduced to support academics in the use of digital technologies such as a learning management system. Participation by academics in this program was purely voluntary. Sorry, it's not moving. Sorry, Gita? Can you just go? Okay. All right, sorry about that. Just over a decade later, e-learning was introduced at DUT as a core teaching and learning practice in 2013. This was in response to the rapid development of worldwide of digital technologies to enhance learning and teaching at the university. The e-learning project was initiated at DUT. The purpose of this project was to produce a significant change in the use of online teaching learning interactions and make available the necessary technical and infrastructural requirements, establish support mechanisms, and monitor program-level targets against set timelines. This was done in close collaboration with three stakeholders at DUT: the academics, the staff, ITSS, and EdTech. The Durban University of Technology's e-learning policy defines e-learning as the delivery of modules using online virtual classrooms located within the institutional learning management system as part of a mixed-mode blended delivery. If we look at our e-learning project timelines from 2013 to 2017, you'll notice that there are lots of green ticks representing targets that were accomplished within the time frame. However, we do have a fair amount of red crosses indicating targets that were not accomplished. Overall, as a University of Technology, we are doing okay. However, we have and continue to experience our fair share of challenges and successes on our e-learning journey. I'm now going to hand you over to Gita, who will enlighten you further on the role of academic professional development in connecting the authentic with digital aspirations at DUT.
Thanks, Anusha. Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness, I got my timer on to say stop. Okay, now that's not supposed to happen. Right. Right, I'm back on track. All right, so thank you everyone for being here, and thank you for the opportunity for me to share my academic professional development perspective on connecting the authentic with digital technologies, our aspirations actually at DUT. Following the introduction, as Anusha said, of the technology imperative at DUT, at the e-learning unit, we thought we were going to be as busy as a Woolworths store on a sale morning. But this demand did not materialize. And given the role of academic professional development in enabling digital technologies related readiness, as academic developers, cum educational technologists, we were particularly keen to understand the underlying factors contributing to this apparent disconnect. And this prompted a critical realist study on the conditions that enabled and constrained participation in academic professional development on the integration of digital technologies. Using Margaret Archer's morphogenetic framework, exploring at DUT the material, the ideational, and agential conditions, we were able to identify key structural and cultural inconsistencies that influenced participation, or APD participation, at DUT. And also using the specialization dimension of legitimation code theory, we were able to identify the knowledge structures, and we were able to discern what was valorized in the individual programs. And using this data, it became possible then to identify trends in APD preferences. For example, academics in humanities oriented programs preferred the pedagogy-focused program offerings, whereas academics in the more natural sciences-oriented programs, which are in the majority at DUT, they preferred the more software, procedural software-oriented or software-orienting training. These trends suggested for us a connection between the discipline-based knowledge practices of the academics and the APD practices. In essence, this finding extended the two cultures debate and other research findings which attested to the impact of subject area knowledge practices and technology integration. It also provided, thankfully for us, a possible reason why generic or pedagogy-focused APD programs would feel somewhat alien or obscure in some disciplinary contexts. We were back at the drawing board. We wanted to design or redesign the APD programs, and this opportunity to reconceptualize discipline-specific programs brought into the mix the possibility of introducing as a pilot project, a wrapped MOOC in a non-credit-bearing context. It was naively conceptualized to provide a participant experience that would also inform the future MOOC designs of the academics. The Coursera MOOC, titled Learning to Teach Online, also a tentative exploration on, with regard to unbundling, typically provided a flipped classroom experience supported by engaging face-to-face critical debates arising from the week's MOOC experience. These discussions seem to open up a black box, looking beyond the efficient utilization of digital technologies in the modern learning environment, and included a vast array of social, cultural, and political issues. These were steeped in our reality, and we challenged the uncritical celebration of the educational potential of the digital technologies. Also, as a resource-constrained institution, this experience, in common with yesterday's presentation from WITS, this presentation highlighted the financial demands and the special skills required in the design of competitive, marketable, quality online programs. This in turn resulted in further debates on the value of external partnerships and also the reconfiguring of higher education activities for the generation of profit. Highlighting in particular for us as a University of Technology issues about powerful knowledge versus the acquisition of nicely packed little job-specific skills training. Also included were discussions that raised awareness on the importance of sustainability, connectivity, and participatory parity in the design of socially inclusive digital technology-enabled learning environments. But for this, I'll leave you to my colleagues. Okay.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Lucas, and I'm going to present with regards to experiences from the Faculty of Accounting and Informatics. I'm obviously not the dean there, but one staff member who's active and curious when it comes to the use of digital technologies, especially for teaching and learning. So my presentation is going to touch on 2 points: the arrangement of these digital technologies versus the pedagogy, and also when it comes to disciplinary relevance. First thing first, like my colleague said, at DUT we do have the e-learning policy, and from the faculty perspective we do echo the aspirations of the policy in terms of utilizing educational technology to achieve successes in learning collaboration and interactivity amongst our students. We have witnessed this success to some extent as a faculty with the aid of Wi-Fi access across campuses and some of the student residences, and of course with improved experiences among staff when it comes to the use of learning management systems. We are not only practicing the bring your own device activities, but in some instances one finds that educational grants allow for access to digital devices and also improvement of laboratories in our faculty. We can agree to some extent that various digital technologies come in a generic manner. You know, when one is sitting in a particular faculty, they need something that can align with the ways of teaching, the learning styles, etc. So now for instance, our DUT policy when it comes to instructional design, it highlights things like consistent layout and design, clear organization of information, consistency, and a pleasing design, something that will resonate with a particular discipline or field of study. And also from within our faculty, we find that we have operational plans that are guiding us, and they do point out that we must strive to utilize a greater use of e-facility. We've seen developments from the faculty dean in terms of improving our laboratories and also building a new laboratory in the past year. Also, it states that we must provide an enabling and reliable infrastructure so that we can achieve the successes in educational technology. So our faculty is made up of 6 academic departments, so whereby you find that the digital technologies relevance or demands range amongst ICT and accounting and management disciplines, because those are the mainstreams that we find within our faculty. But then again, we rely on our operational plans, which encourage us to identify innovative modes of teaching and learning, and also the promotion of the use of current and emerging technologies in our teaching and learning processes. So as I wrap up, I came across this picture which tends to capture the top 6 trends, digital transformation trends in education. And I believe that in our faculty, we are seeing changes in terms of the classroom device presence, where in a classroom you find that while you're lecturing, the students are busy on their digital devices. And, the challenge for us as academics is to make sure that we tap into their environment and take advantage of those devices. It's no longer a matter of coming into a classroom and saying, switch off your devices and focus on me, but a matter of being creative around, using what's taking more of their time and use that. Like, for instance, if you put content on your LMS, you can make use of these digital devices for them to access the content. And also the issue of learning spaces. That's also on the picture. We find that there is a redesign of learning spaces. Something that I find very much interesting or fascinating is the issue of personalized, self-paced learning amongst our students. That's where I'll end it. I'll now hand you over to Colette.
Good morning, all. I'm Colette. I'm the pathology lecturer in the Department of Basic Medical Sciences, which is a service department in the Faculty of Health Sciences at DUT. I'm sure all of you have the same thing that we do, and every year you have all of your strat plans, and we had a big focus on our current strat plan. So included in part of the DUT Strategic Plan 2.0, we've included to deepen the innovative use of technology to improve the quality of learning, teaching, and assessment. Since 2013, under our old VC, previous VC, Prof. Bauer, we've had a massive drive from a top-down point of view towards e-learning. However, when we participated in our Coursera MOOC, we realized that there is a very, very strong need for the classrooms that are designed to be usable from a student context, and this being absolutely vital for sustainability. In order for that to happen, one of the fundamental aspects is that we need to explore things from the student point of view, so allow for classroom design to accommodate an almost bottom-up approach and to allow DUT to maintain its student-centered focus. Much of the research that's available is from a Eurocentric point of view, and we all know we're supposed to be moving away from that. With that, the students' background and resources are very, very different to the African and South African context. Much of the research there is based more so on the staff and the age gap when it comes to digital use, and moving away from a digital native to digital competency being largely exposure-based rather than age-based. South Africa is still carrying a legacy of apartheid and is currently rated as one of the most unequal countries in the world. Not only do we have a digital divide, but that divide is influenced by the divide across education, financial support, social support, safety, and cultural spheres. And as free tertiary education is rolled out across the country, that's only likely to become even more apparent. As we began our inquiries, we started with our technical support staff, and some of the information that we gained from there was quite surprising. I'm just going to tell you two brief stories, may not be surprising to you in your own experiences. One was that in one of the reses the one year, they ended up with a problematic student who, every time he entered the res and went to his room, he would flick his light switch on and off repeatedly. This irritated the other students, and people started to think he was a bit strange. And it turned out that he was from a deep rural area and he had never experienced electricity in his residence. So but there's few and far between, but we still have to incorporate those students. In some of my classes, when I'd started putting up PDFs and that sort of thing, students had said that it was an absolute revelation for them and listening to podcasts because they could study using their devices whilst on public transport. Some of our students spend up to 4 hours a day on public transport. However, if they were seen to take out a textbook or something in a taxi, they were often victimized and accused of thinking that they were better than the other people on that taxi. So just from that small difference, suddenly you open up 4 hours of study available to certain students, which is a massive difference. So from that point, we began to ask ourselves simple questions, well, not simple questions. How do we design classroom activity, online classrooms, so that they benefit all and do not further prejudice some of our disadvantaged students? And how do we even begin to do this without a baseline of where the students are with regard to digital access and skills? And thus began our project, our independent research project entitled The Digital Divide. As a starting point, this will be piloted in the Faculty of Health Sciences. As via my department, we have very easy access to the students, and rightly or wrongly, our faculty is regarded as one of the more privileged faculties. It's also much smaller. We then hope to expand it to the other faculties, and hopefully maybe some of the other universities that are represented here today might be encouraged to partner with us at a later stage. Our research questions are: what is the nature of the digital divide in the various programs in the Faculty of Health Sciences at the Durban University of Technology? And how does the data gathered by the survey contribute towards the meaningful integration of digital technologies in programs offered by the Faculty of Health Sciences? I've just added, as part of this, we've got a paper-based and a digital-based survey. That would be it. We've tried to provide a holistic presentation, including our overview, our ADP perspective, our staff perspective, and our students' perspective. Hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you very much for listening.